Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Chicago Bears and giving 3 bold predictions for them in the upcoming season. But before getting to that topic, it's a quick question for those of you viewing. What do you think the Bears' record will be next year? And of course, keep in consideration that it's 17 games. You think they'll be above 500, below 500? You think they'll go to the Super Bowl? Whatever your prediction is, comment down below and you'll kind of hear my answer throughout. But getting straight into it, bold prediction number 1. Justin Fields, the star rookie quarterback that the Bears traded up to get, will start in week 1. There's a lot of speculation that Andy Dalton was brought in because he would be a starter. That's what he said. That's the reason he said he wanted to go to Chicago, or he came to Chicago, is because he was told he'd be a starter. Yeah, but Justin Fields wasn't on the depth chart at that point. Now that I think Justin Fields is here and he's performing well in mini camp, training camp, rookie camp, whatever they're in right now. I don't think training camp's officially started. But mini camp and rookie camp, he's impressing the team and he's impressing the coach, Matt Nagy. He's saying he's the guy that's kind of won their hearts. He just has a huge mentality and work ethic towards the game. And I think that is a progression we are seeing that will get him that starting job in week 1. And another bold prediction that's not one of my 3, but it's just kind of a bonus one in contingency of this. If this bold prediction turns out to be right, Justin Fields starts week 1. I believe he will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. In a Jacksonville Jaguars video, I predicted Trevor Lawrence to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. However, I said he would win Offensive Rookie of the Year if other guys like Justin Fields, like Trey Lance, aren't starting week 1. If those guys are starting week 1 with them, I think Justin Fields, not necessarily saying Justin Fields is better than Trevor Lawrence or will be better, I think he will win Rookie of the Year because of the amount of help and weapons he has around him compared to Trevor Lawrence. And this is kind of a similar thing. You know, if Trey Lance starts week 1, my prediction might change again. But if Justin Fields started week 1, my bonus bold prediction is that he will win Rookie Year. That's why I'm not including it as a actual one. It's just a bonus one of the 3 or to the 3. So I just think with the weapons he has and Darnell Mooney, Allen Robinson, a top 10 receiver, Anthony Miller, some reliable guys on this team. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jimmy Graham's still on the Bears. He's on the depth chart. I don't exactly know if he's still going to be sticking with them. Defense, he's got a great defensive line. We know how good Akeem Hicks is. Eddie Jackson is a big name. Khalil Mack is. They got Danny Trevathan. They got Roquan Smith. It's a great Bears defense, and it's very well coached by Matt Nagy. I mean, Matt Nagy took the Bears to the playoffs twice with Mitch Trubisky at their quarterback. As long as Justin Fields is good enough to keep a starting job, he's automatically better than Mitch Trubisky, and I think this team can be well run. And Justin Fields, he's going to start week 1. He's going to continue through minicamp, and when we get to training camp or when we get to preseason, win the Bears over, win Matt Nagy over, win this offense over. And they're going to see Andy Dalton's washed up. He became a backup for a reason. Justin Fields, we traded up for him for a reason. He's going to start week 1. And with the weapons he has, I think he's going to go on to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not saying he's going to go Justin Herbert mode where he breaks every rookie record that is, but I do think he will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And breaking the records are possible for a number of reasons. I think he has a better offensive line than Justin Herbert had, and now that the Bears got Tevin Jenkins, and according to PFF, Pro Football Focus, Justin Herbert had the Chargers as a whole had the worst offensive line last year, so as long as the Bears aren't last, Justin Fields is already ahead of them. Receiving core, you can argue which one's better. It's a toss-up. Backfield, David Montgomery, he's pretty good. He's up and coming. Austin Eckler's banged up. You could say Justin Fields has a better backfield. Coaching staff, I definitely think Matt Nagy is a much better head coach than Anthony Lynn. And if Justin Fields starts week 1, he's going to have 2 extra games more than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert started 15 games last year. Justin Fields, he'd have 16 in the regular season, but 17 this season. So the record-breaking thing is possible, but I'm not really banking on that for him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I just think with the talent and raw skill he has, with the great head coach to lead him and organize this team, and the amount of talent around him, I think he will win Offensive Rookie of the Year and start week 1. Moving on to bold prediction number 2. This one's extremely bold for some, but if I'm right about the other 2, kind of another bonus, I guess, or this is number 2, but kind of another in contingency of, if Justin Fields is starting week 1 and he's as good as I think, we could seriously see, Allen Robinson jump into the top 5 position of a top. I think he could jump into the talks of being a top 5 wide receiver is what I'm trying to say. And I don't think that's too unrealistic. To me, Allen Robinson's right around the realm of a top 10 receiver, yet he's made that establishment. He's gotten himself to that title without any good quarterback to help lead him, to help, boost his rankings. He's all done that by himself. Now I think with a big arm quarterback in Justin Fields, an accurate quarterback in Justin Fields, a very hard-working quarterback in Justin Fields, not Mitch Trubisky, not who he dealt with the Jags and Blake Bortles, not Nick Foles, hopefully not Andy Dalton. I think Allen Robinson can jump into that top 5 rankings. I'm not saying he's gonna set in stone, but I think he can at least make it into the talks. There's some solidified top 5 receivers. Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, a healthy Julio Jones, maybe a healthy Michael Thomas, maybe Stephon Diggs, maybe Tyreek Hill, maybe. Top 5 is questionable, but with it being questionable, with it having flexibility, that is why Allen Robinson can make the cut. A lot of people like DK, a lot of people like AJ Brown. A big reason I think Allen Robinson could take such a big jump is look at the Stephon Diggs jump he took. When Stephon Diggs was on the Vikings, he got his respect as a very good receiver in the NFL, probably top 10, top 12, top 15, anywhere around there with Kirk Cousins and the Vikings next to Adam Thielen. All of a sudden, he goes to the Buffalo Bills, a contending team with a big arm quarterback, a hard-working quarterback, a well-organized team when it comes to the head coaching staff. Brian Daboll, very offensive-minded, or he's an offensive coordinator, a very great offensive coordinator, and a very well-rounded Sean McDermott. I think Stephon Diggs, the type of jump he took, is something that Allen Robinson can take, getting a brand new big arm quarterback. Coaching staff, it's not really changing, but I do think Matt Nagy is a good enough coach to help take Allen Robinson to that next level, and Justin Fields is going to be the key to Allen Robinson going to the next level. And of course, like I said, this isn't contingency. Allen Robinson doesn't get hurt, Justin Fields doesn't get hurt, Justin Fields actually plays, Justin Fields actually pans out. But I do think if the other 2 bold predictions I made of Justin Fields starting week 1, he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, Allen Robinson is going to extremely benefit off of that, and he's going to be in the top 5 talks as far as wide receiver rankings, and I'm excited to see it. I do think Allen Robinson finally deserves to get the quarterback that he's been looking for. Number 3 on this list is, we understand Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, the GM is Ryan Pace, and Matt Nagy, the head coach, are kind of on the hot seat of especially going out and making a game on Justin Fields. They've just been on the hot seat in general, not making a super deep playoff run, not being a Super Bowl threat. To me, the Bears this year, bold prediction number 3, will come close to making the playoffs, and Matt Nagy will keep his job. They won't fire him. And to me, they shouldn't fire him. And you look at him, I already said he took Mitch Trubisky-led team twice to the playoffs in the division with Aaron Rodgers. One year he went 12-4. This past year they went 8-8, but Trubisky was 6-3 himself. They still made the playoffs. Say what you want about their record, they still made the playoffs, and Matt Nagy did his job. Now I think with a better team all around, a defense that hasn't really changed much at all, still star-studded as it was the past years, but a defense that finally believes it can make a run at being a contending team now that they have a possible offensive player in Justin Fields that can match the offense to the defense. And of course, Justin Fields is the biggest ticket as to why I think this team will be successful. And I don't expect them to be a deep playoff team this year. And like I said, I don't even necessarily have them making the playoffs, but I have them being in that wild card contention, maybe with the Vikings in their own division, maybe with the Arizona Cardinals, maybe with the Carolina Panthers, maybe with another NFC West team, maybe the second NFC East team. I think they're going to be in the hunt for a wild card spot, and that'll be enough to show the Bears ownership. The Bears, I guess Ryan Pace probably wouldn't fire Matt Nagy if he'd be a guy that fires himself, but it shows the front office as a whole. Look, we didn't make the playoffs this year. We showed improvement. We showed we're a great team, and we showed that our future is set. We just might need another offseason. We just might need some more reps at our rookie quarterback. Our management is there in the coaching staff. Our management there is in the front office and building the team in the GM position. Our roster is there on the field. It just needs more time. It needs more chemistry, and I think all those combined will save Matt Nagy and this team from falling apart and separating. Like I said, I'm a fan of Matt Nagy. I think what he did with Mitch Trubisky is phenomenal, to take them to the playoffs twice, to take them 12-4 once, and be a Super Bowl contender at some point, yet them losing to a awful field goal kick. That is just devastating. Who knows how far that Bears defense could have gone this year if it weren't for the bad special teams. But we can shoulda, coulda, woulda all day, if and a but all day. In 2021, I think the Bears team, they won't necessarily be a threat, but they'll be good enough to show the future is set and the team is set and no one will lose their job. Again, though, guys, the 3 bold predictions is Justin Fields will start week 1, and if he does, he will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bold prediction number 2, Allen Robinson will be the talks of being a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. And number 3, the Bears will be in the hunt for a wild card spot and Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace will keep their job. But as always, guys, I do want to hear if you agree or disagree with my bold predictions. And of course, referring back to the question today, where do you see the Bears record being? To me, I think they'll be right at or above 500. I guess it can't be added anymore. You can't go 8-8. But to me, anywhere from 8-9 to 11-6 sounds like a pretty good range for this Bears team. Like I said, they have a great defense, and the offense I think will be great in time. The only thing holding them back could be rookie growing pains. I think it'll get there in time, but I could see a offensive rookie of the year. It's going to be a great quarterback to show you have, a future put together, but there's still going to be growing pains, and therefore I think they might just fall short. But if he is winning offensive rookie of the year, anything is possible for this Bears team and their record. As always, guys, and of course, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.